you still feel like you are lacking and haven't achieved what it is that you are trying to achieve. And your brain is still in this transition into believing. Hey lady, welcome to the Highly Sensitive Woman podcast. Do you struggle with self-doubt, setting boundaries, or feeling overwhelmed? My name is Alyssa, and I'm a highly sensitive woman who spent years trying to fit in, ignoring my own needs, and living in constant fear of disappointing others. But I finally discovered the power of embracing who I am, and now I don't feel so broken. In this podcast, you'll learn to find your voice, set boundaries, and live with bold confidence and inner peace. Grab a cozy blanket. It's time to connect with someone just like you. It is May 1st. Can you believe it? I don't know about you, but 2025 is just flying by for me. And in the United States, it is spring, and in the last week, we have had absolutely gorgeous spring weather in Indiana, and I have been spending a lot of time outside and enjoying the sunshine, and it has just been wonderful. I'm really excited to share today's topic with you, but before we get to that, I have some big news. Last week, I was accepted to participate in a mission trip to Guatemala in partnership with Filter of Hope to bring water filters to families that will allow them to have clean drinking water. And I am just elated to be part of this project. And in partnership with that, as a way to fund the trip, I am offering buy one, get one free coaching sessions. And if you have ever thought about giving coaching a try, now is the time to do it. It is the lowest price that I will be offering coaching. And normally I offer a package, but I'm offering single sessions. So beginning today, May 1st, through June 30th, 2025, any donations that go directly toward the mission will earn you a buy one, get one free coaching session, and those sessions will be used anytime between now and September 30th. So if you are even the least bit interested, send me a message at info@lifecoachalyssa.com and we can schedule a consultation and discuss the details and see if this is something that you would like to try. So let's get into today's topic. Recently, I was talking with one of my clients and she told me for the first time ever, she is finally starting to believe that she is worthy. Wow, how powerful is that? And it just got me to thinking about how incredibly powerful our beliefs are, and that what we believe has an effect on everything we do. So today I want to talk about living beyond that self-doubt and really believing that you are worthy. You know, I mentioned it's springtime in the United States and people are starting to be more active and they're getting outside and they're going for walks. I am one of those people. And some people might be on like an intentional weight loss journey. And I know I have used weight loss and fitness as an analogy before, and I just feel like it is so relatable because either we have been on one ourselves or we know someone who has. So I want you to think about if you have been on a weight loss journey in your life or you know someone who has, when you're kind of in the process, right? Like you've started to lose weight and your clothes don't fit quite right, but you're not really to the point that you want to buy some new ones. You can start to feel some frustration kind of in that in between, and maybe you might be tempted to give up. And sometimes there's also some shame that comes in with not being further along in your journey. And, you know, I should be at my goal by now. And, you know, how did I allow myself to get to this point in the first place? And just all kinds of shaming and blaming that comes with that. And when you're in a season of transition, it can be so easy to see where you still feel like you are lacking and haven't achieved what it is that you are trying to achieve. And your brain is still in this transition into believing that you are someone who has an active, fit, and healthy lifestyle. And it's sort of juggling that with the belief of the person you used to be compared to who you are becoming. And that is the same with our personal growth journey and shifting from a season or a period of self-doubt into believing that you are worthy. And I can certainly relate to the weight loss journey. I think, most of us can, and I have been on one myself more than once, if I'm just really honest. But, we have all kinds of beliefs about ourselves in every area of our lives. And there was a time in my life when I was incredibly broken. And I know I've mentioned this before, but to just kind of give some more details to that time, I was on disability from work, and I was seeking help every single week. And I believed with every ounce of my being that I was not getting better because I just was not capable of getting better. I was so broken, and I believed the people who were around me. And let me be clear, I don't think that they had any ill intent. I think that they believed what they were telling me to be true. But they were telling me that this was kind of going to be my future and that I would never work a full-time job again. And to kind of give you some context of where I had been before going on disability, I was working a full-time job as a teacher. I ran the SAT and the ACT at my very large school. I taught as an adjunct faculty for a college all at the same time, and I was managing all of that plus a home and marriage and all of the things. So I went from that to pretty much none of that. And the idea that I would never work again was just really challenging for me. And again, my care team said, well, maybe I would work again, but if I did, that it would be part-time and that I might do something like bagging groceries at the grocery store or, working at the Humane Society or something that was a pretty low stress type of job and didn't put much demand on me. And being in that belief led me to living that life of just staying home and not really doing anything and not really pushing myself because I believed and I had so much doubt in what I was capable of that I was very limited. And what you believe about yourself and your capabilities determines kind of where you're headed next, because our thoughts and our words are so, so powerful. I really doubted what I was capable of and believed that I was not worthy of something more. And the shift out of that space of self-doubt and into worthiness was a very gradual shift. And, much like the weight loss journey that I mentioned earlier, as we're transitioning, it took a while for my brain to transition from who I used to be into who I was becoming and move out of that self-doubt and into believing that I was worthy. So when you start living beyond that self-doubt and believing that you are worthy, sometimes you don't see the difference at first. And so you have to be really intentional and looking for it. So one of the things is celebrating the win and intentionally looking for the places where you have an awareness that you didn't have an awareness before, or you are looking for evidence that supports your new belief that you are worthy. Notice when you handle a situation differently than you did before. Maybe before You never said how you were feeling to someone, and now you do. Or now you follow up a week later and say, hey, when you said this thing last week, it really didn't feel good. And you start to believe that you are worthy of being treated in the way that you want to be treated. The other thing, as you are shifting from an area of self-doubt into believing that you are worthy, thank the person you used to be. As you start becoming someone who believes that you are worthy, thank the woman who had all of that self-doubt. Be kind to her. Have some compassion for her that she was doing the best that she could in that moment. Have a conversation with her or write her a letter and say, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for getting me through that very difficult season of my life. Even if that season was several years or even a decade or a few decades, just thank her for being there for you in that moment. She was who you needed at that time. I used to be obsessed with Marie Kondo, and maybe this will resonate with you. One of the things that she has her clients do as they are purging their homes. If you don't know who Marie Kondo is, she's an organization expert, and she helps people organize their homes and get rid of anything that isn't a good fit for them. So as she is helping people get rid of these items, the things that they're getting rid of, she has them thank every single item for what it offered them, what it provided to them in the time that they owned this item. Like if it's a shirt, thank you for keeping me warm on those, chilly nights. Or if it's a plate, thank you for serving food to me and my family. So thank the woman you used to be as you are transitioning from someone who was full of self-doubt and into worthiness, because she was there for you at a time when you needed her, and she really was just doing her best. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is it will be a process shifting from self-doubt to worthiness. And that self-doubt is going to creep back in. It just will. So when it does, don't panic. Don't allow your brain to go back into that belief and, oh my goodness, I'm not capable. You are capable. You are worthy, and you will continue to grow and develop your belief in your worthiness. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with a story that my pastor told recently. It was a story about a man who, when he was in high school, he was not doing well. He was skipping class and he wasn't doing his work, and he was just not on a path for academic success, and his mom insisted that he take the SAT. And so he did, and when he got his scores back, he scored a 1480. And if you know anything about the SAT in the United States, a 1600 is a perfect score. So 1480 is really good. And so when he got that score back, he started attending his classes and doing his work, and eventually, he graduated from high school and he went to college, and then he did so well there that he transferred to an Ivy League college, and 12 years later, he received a letter saying that there was an error and that instead of a 1480, he actually scored a 740, which is about as low as you can possibly score on the SAT. And he said that people think my whole life changed when I got the 1480. But what happened was my whole life changed when I started acting like I got a 1480. What shifted in him was his belief. his belief that he was capable of more. You are capable of letting go of that self-doubt and believing that you are worthy. And until you develop that belief for yourself, I'm going to believe it for you, just like so many people believed for me when I didn't have the belief for myself. I hope this episode encourages you, and if so, if you would, leave me a review and share it with your friends so that others can begin to build their belief in their worthiness too. I'll chat with you next week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may be feeling like she's broken too? I'd love it if you'd leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It brings me so much joy to know this podcast is helping you. Now it's time for me to stop talking and go soothe my senses in nature. I'll meet you back here next week for another episode. Take care.